David says in Psalm 139, "For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me when as yet there were none of them." My name is Ashley Lawton. I am a pastor's wife, and I am a mother to two beautiful children, and this is my story. Everyone has a birthday. We have one every year. It is the day we were born, our birth date. For most, this day, our birthday, was anticipated, celebrated, and met with great joy. For me, this simply wasn't the case. I have imagined the scenario over and over again in my mind. It's February, probably around Valentine's Day. A young woman is picked up for a date, a night on the town. Her boyfriend is handsome, charming, persuasive. The night was going well, and then things took a turn for the worse. They called it date rape. And 9 months later, here I was. I was born to a woman who did not plan for me, did not want to know if I was a boy or a girl, didn't want to hold me or even see me. Unplanned, unseen, and yet saved from the unthinkable, yet socially acceptable, an abortion. I was in high school when I found out that my birth mother was raped. My mother and I were driving down Haywood Road in Greenville, probably headed to the mall. Now, I don't remember what led us to talk about it, but what I do remember was my mom looking at me and plainly stating, "Well, Ashley, your birth mother was raped." I remember staring out of the car window, thinking, "You're a product of evil. You were never meant to be." The enemy sure has a way with words. Now, I can't imagine being raped and then finding out I was pregnant with my rapist child. I remember justifying how an abortion would somehow be acceptable in this case. I mean, how could you expect a woman to carry a life that had been created under such evil means? Oh, wait, that would have been me. See, little did I know, even then, that God was calling me to him. He wanted me? See, it couldn't be. See, God, you don't know about me. You don't know where I came from, how I came to be. Yes, Ashley, God knows you. He wants you. He created you. He loves you. Amen. In Galatians 1, it says, "But when it pleased God who separated me from my mother's womb and called me through his grace to reveal his Son in me that I may preach him among the Gentiles." You see, I wasn't a mistake. The prophet Jeremiah says in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations." 38 years ago, a woman was raped and became pregnant. This same woman, this brave woman, chose life. And because she chose life, I am here today. God knew what was going to happen the day I was conceived, and he had a plan for me. Now, I don't always understand in the midst of the storm why the Lord does what he does. But looking back, I can always see his hand in it. I have learned over my life to trust him and his plan. No matter what we are going through, it's a part of his plan. And his plan is always perfect. You see, God can take a bad situation and make something beautiful. I am a child of God, and I am made in his image. In Romans 8, it says, "For as many are as led by the Spirit of God, these are sons of God. For you did not receive the spirit of bondage again to fear, but received the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry out, Abba, Father." The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God and joint heirs with Christ, if indeed we suffer with him. I am here to share God's good news and plan for your life and mine. I am alive, not by mistake, but by his grace. I could have easily been aborted and tossed aside, but it is by God's grace and God's plan that I am here today, speaking to you. In Jeremiah it says, "For I know the thoughts I think toward you, says the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you a future and a hope." We must all remember that God has a plan for our lives. We may not see it or even understand it. All we can do is daily seek his face and his will. We must not get discouraged when we feel like the world has turned its back on us. It has, but God has not. God was and still is in control. In John it says, "These things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you may have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." I was conceived in rape. It was a horrible, evil act upon my birth mother. She was physically and emotionally violated. But I didn't deserve the death penalty. I was an innocent life. That's right. And my life mattered.
Yes. Amen. Yes.
I thank God that my birth mother valued life enough to choose life. Today, there are so many that aren't that fortunate. An article on abortionfacts.com says it best, and I quote, "A child conceived in rape is just as precious as a child conceived in love, because a child is a child. The violence of abortion is no solution to the violence of rape. The killing of the innocent by abortion is no solution to the hurting of the innocent by rape. Abortion is an act of violence that kills a living human being. The circumstances surrounding this conception do not change the simple reality. Rape and abortion share this in common. They are both acts of violent assault against an innocent victim. Aborting a child conceived through rape simply extends this pattern of violence and victimhood. It does not unrape the woman, but it will almost certainly increase her regret and misery. I ask you to remember my face. Remember me when you are given the chance to stand up for those that don't have a voice. Remember that I am that exception so many in the political world are okay with aborting. I wasn't just a clump of cells. I wasn't just a ball of tissue. I was a living being still being formed in my mother's womb. I wasn't any less important than any other life. Just because a child is conceived under less than ideal means doesn't mean they deserve the death penalty. It is time to stand up for the innocent preborn lives. We need to protect these innocent lives. They are our future scientists, our future doctors, teachers, mothers, and fathers. They are our future. Dr. Seuss got it right. A person is a person, no matter how small. Thank you.